Shabbat Shalom to the hopeful elect of Israel. It's your fellow servant Shemaiah from the GMS Orlando camp. I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechach, Kodash, and double honor to our elders and apostles of the great millstone. Peace and salutation to you, hopeful elect out there. May you endure. May your faith continue in Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. May you stay strong and faithful until the end. All right. I want to just go on the lesson. I was watching a clip. I don't know celebrity names and people names and things of that nature, but every now and then something pop up that just ring bells in my heart, in my mind, and I just want to do a lesson, going into this particular topic, because the times that we're coming into, you're going to see the true love of people that you're around, that's supposed to be connected to you, so on and so forth, and a lot of it is going to be exposed. Who really respect the order of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, and the Lord's going to, make his pick. The Lord's going to make his pick on who's really sincerely serving him and who's just doing their own thing. And, life has taught us that for a so-called black man, and perhaps some Latinos, Hispanics, and so-called and Native American Indians, and the rest of Speckled Bird, the man is looked down upon if he doesn't meet the family or the wife's certain perspectives, and they will give up that man for anybody. The women in our culture nowadays, they don't really have a genuine interest in preserving and honoring, respecting, and loving the Israelite man, okay, especially the Southern Kingdom. There's many talking points that go out, letting the whole world know, especially from the horse's mouth, especially from so-called black women, Southern Kingdom tribe of Israel. They'll tell you themselves, how much hatred, how much better off they are without the so-called Negro man, and it's just, I understand, in some parts, because majority of them have picked the wrong kind of man. But when they get a decent man, I'll say a decent man, because, none of us are actually 100% good. But when they get a decent man, they don't know how to treat them the right way, the proper way. They don't know how to build them up. They don't know how to give them a sense of peace. They don't listen to his warnings. They don't take him serious. They treat him like a option instead of a priority. And that causes a lot of men to either walk out, or clown, or stay to themselves, or just don't want to be seen, don't want to be heard, it's a lot of things, a lot of mental and emotional. Well, I don't really want to say emotional, because at the end of the day, being a man, emotions is the last thing on our plate. But a lot of mental, I don't want to say damage, but yeah, something like that. A lot of mental damage has happened. A lot of trust issues, a lot of being seen as less than, being neglected, being put on the back burner, being used for particular things, but not being honored at all, is what happens to most men, of the Hebrew Israelite family. So it's just, I want to put this out there as a it's a maybe a token of what's going on nowadays. Perhaps it's just this lady and her family dynamic that understands the rule, understands the specific the order of things. I'll just say that. I'm gonna play this clip, and then I'm gonna bring up some precepts, and then we're gonna close out. It's gonna be something short, for the Sabbath, just for the women that are in this mindset. May the blessing be upon your house. May the Lord protect you and your family and keep y'all faithful and in strength. And you understand the message, or the what they say. You understand the mission, okay? You understand the purpose, So I'm gonna get it, and let's go.
If your ship was sinking and you had to save either your kids or your man, you can only choose one. Who
Who would you choose? My husband. You said your husband.
There you go.
10,000%. You know, let me tell you, this is what's crazy to me, and I'm probably gonna eat all. I don't say what y'all want. I don't care. Biblically speaking, order of the household: God, my spouse, my kids, everybody else. How do I save something that comes from me and not the thing that is of me? If two become one and we are one, how do I go and save the multiplied? This is the original unit. And yes, of course, it sounds insensitive to say I can have more kids. And I'm also speaking from logic and not experience. But this is what I know. Most people don't like their spouse. Most people are married, they're not husband and wife. So if you are just married to a person that you really don't like, and low-key you'd be high-key relieved that your husband or your wife is dead, and then you'd be able to raise your kids, I understand why you would choose your kids.
Sure.
But if this is your once-in-a-lifetime, platinum needle in a haystack, lover, soulmate, best friend, ace boon coon, and this is the one time that you have, that you spend all this time teaching your person how to love you, and vice versa, I can't choose my children. I can't.
That's true.
There's no God, spouse, children, everybody else. And anybody that challenges it, because I get it, and people will say, you're not kids. You know what? I called my mom, and I called my dad, and I gave them the same thing. And I quote, my dad said, nigga, I'm saving my wife. My mom said, that's it. Your daddy's play. My mom said, I'm choosing your dad. My sister, who's been married 23, she's been with her guy 23 years. I'm choosing my husband. She got 2 kids, right? Her husband, I'm choosing my wife.
Yeah.
My oldest brother, I'm choosing my wife. But it would really hurt me not to save my kids. They got 3 kids.
Damn.
Now, also, here's a question. Is that nature versus nurture? Maybe it is, because it seems like all the people that are in close proximity to me and how I grew up, they all have the same answer.
You know, so like I say, like this family dynamic, or however, you know, the Lord orchestrated that thought pattern within their mind, that's the way it's supposed to be. Let me get a precept. Get a precept. Matthew 19. And verse 3. The Pharisees also came unto him is Yahushua, tempting him, and saying unto him, is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause? And he answered and said unto them, have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female, and said, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother, right, and cleave to his wife, and they twine shall be one flesh. Wherefore they are no more twine, but one flesh. What therefore God the Most High have joined together, let no man put asunder. Asunder.
Asunder.
Asunder is an adverb meaning into separate parts or into pieces. It typically describes something that is forcefully torn, ripped, or violently broken apart, whether physically like an object or figuratively like a relationship or a community. All right. So of all things, the Lord is saying that man and that woman, they shouldn't be torn apart. When you come into this truth, you become reborn. You're supposed to become reborn, because the knowledge and information that we once had was of the world. But once you come into this truth, you're reborn. You have an obligation to keep what Yahweh Shem Yahushua has taught us as we come into this truth, as we learn the roles of a man, a woman, a husband, a wife. Okay? In comparison to friendships and other family members, all right, when it comes to the husband and the wife, the Lord said, "Let no man put them asunder, except for an occasion, as if if a wife was to go off and to commit adultery, or fornication, or adultery, and that still is on the man to decide, right? It say they say unto him, why did Moses then command to give a writing of divorcement and to put her away? He said to them, Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts, suffered you to put away your wives, but from the beginning it was not so. All right, and I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committeth adultery. And whoso marrieth her which is put away, doeth commit adultery. All right. So, hey, women, y'all just go ahead and understand the order of things. If your man is trying to put you away, except it be for fornication or adultery, he can't really put you away. Even in that situation. But at the same time, he don't got to deal with you on that level. The husband can have more than one wife. But now if he's committing adultery, with another man's wife, then therein lies an issue. All right. For him, and I went over that the other day. Matter of fact, in my camp the other day, I went over that. I know it was in Proverbs. I was speaking on the fact of, if a person steals, that they have to give it back, all his substance and things like that. If he be found, stealing for bread, for something to eat, not anything else, because other than that, you're coveting. You're coveting. But to survive and to eat, you take a little here and there, or whatever. I don't want to. I speak as a man, but even I don't even want to say it. Forget it. I'm about to go into King David and the showbread, but that's another story. Anyway, okay. So the husband and the wife is one of the main characteristics that the Lord set up in the earth from the beginning, starting with Adam and Eve. And we're talking about the children of Israel, or the Hebrew Israelites. We're talking about those that the Lord had gave the Spirit to rule over the world, to rule the earth. And that's about to be established again. And it's going to be established through men. That's how the Lord set things up again. Starting with Yahushua. All right, Yahushua about to come back in his angelic form, and he's going to give that power. He's going to give those new bodies to the elect of Israel. And they're going to run things according to the will of Yahweh Shemashah. Let me get this precept. Because when it comes to what the Lord is saying, you have to be persuaded. I know I said that wrong. Persuaded. Fully persuaded. Yep, there it is. Romans chapter 14. Romans 14:5. One man esteemeth one day above another, another esteemeth every day alike. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. Let's see. Yeah, that's a good one. I'm with this Proverbs first, though. Proverbs 4 and verse 22. For they are life unto those that find them. Matter of fact, let me open that up. Yeah. Proverbs 4:20. My son, attend to my words, incline thine ears unto my sayings. Let them not depart from thine eyes. Keep them in the midst of thine heart. Your heart is your mind, your love. Because we're supposed to be meditating on the words of Yahweh Shem Yahshua every day. This is the order of operation to the Spirit as keeping us, as sustaining us, as helping us to maintain, being the stability of our times, no matter what you go through. The knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that comes out of this Bible with the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, the understanding, the Holy Spirit to understand these things. That's the author and the finisher of our faith. That's Yahweh Shai. He's in the volume of the whole book. Words are what keep people motivated, right? Words are what keep people motivated. And then what happens after that is what makes you stay on the course. When you go to get a job, you sharing words back and forth with your employer or whatever you want to call them, right? You have a written document in which you sign your name to, right? And then based on the words that were discussed amongst each other and the written document, which is written in words, the written documents that you sign your name on, when it makes sense and when it matches up, you put your hard work and effort, your sweat and your tears, and even your blood, depending on what kind of job you're doing. Your blood, you might catch a scrape or get cut or whatever, a bump and a bruise. But you're going to do your best to finish that job as an everyday requirement to take care and sustain yourself in life. The same thing with Yahweh Shem Yahshua and understanding the agreement that we have with the Lord and believing and trusting in His words. And He's never gave up, or He's never failed to show His side of the bargain, to show His side of the agreement that you've written your name on. The Lord has never failed in doing that. Matter of fact, He's going beyond being long-suffering, being understanding, being patient, being humble, And that's all the Lord is telling us to do. Give me the same energy. All right? And I know I'm kind of going to a different, but the Spirit, go wherever it go, But this is the point. Verse 22. For they are life unto those who find them, and health to all their flesh. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Put away from thee a forward mouth and perverse lips. Put far from thee. Let thine eyes look right on, and let thine eyelids look straight before thee. All right. Ponder the path of thy feet, and let all thy ways be established. So think about what you're doing before you do it. Don't just do something because of your feelings and your emotions. And I'm speaking specifically to a lot of you women out there, and some of you guys too, because some of you guys, you just go based on your feelings and your emotions because you was raised by a feminine energy, only your mother in most of these situations, because that's what a lot of these women have done. They said, hey, he's not up to my standards, or he's not this, or he's not that, and they find every reason to build on their own. Even if they're going off and committing all type of adultery, all kind of sins, they're really a headache. And like I said, most of these women, they've slept with the same guy that every other woman want to sleep with. So the men, because the brother was doing a lesson, matter of fact, let me get that. Let me see. Let me pull it up. What is the ratio of black, and we know that so-called black men without children? AI overview: about 54% of black men in the U.S. do not have children. Across the general adult population, approximately 54% of black men are single and childless, while 46% of black men aged 15 to 49 have fathered at least one child. So look at the statistics. At least half well, more than half of the so-called black men here in America they're childless. All right? They're single and childless because most of these women choose one particular kind of man, one particular type of man to be with. So y'all pick your own poison. Y'all choose to be single and humping on the same guys as far as what social media has given you. As far as what Junior and Ray and Smokey and these niggas, and these hood niggas that y'all go for, because society tell you or push the image that this is what's the standard for the so-called Negro community. This is what everybody's into. But a hardworking 9-to-5 hardworking young black man has an issue with getting you because you don't think he's gonna fit your standard. If he's not a scammer or a thug or some bullshit to bring danger into your life, until you get older, then y'all understand. Oh, let me calm down. I should, really think about my life. But when y'all younger, y'all be on some dumb ass shit. Honestly, and some of y'all, when y'all get older, it ain't no different. Y'all still be on some dumb ass shit. Let me get this. It says age significantly influences the status, right? Among black men who have reached their 40s, ages 40 to 50, the vast majority, about 80% to 81%, have fathered a child. Therefore, only about 19 to 20% of black men in this older demographic are childless. And I can agree with that. I might be amongst that number. But at the same time, we witnessed that, men that are in that demographic, we witnessed that our wives or women that we've been with, they choose their kids or everybody else's opinions over their own husbands. Right? Over their own husband. They've forgotten this demographic, or they've forgotten this law. They've forgotten the words of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, which is life. That's why they're going through hell. That's why there's no positive outcome for a woman that sit up here and lean on her own understanding. You need guidance. And if the Lord put a decent man in your life, a God-fearing man in your life, and I ain't talking about these church-going, unless the Lord is using that as a stepping stone for them to find out who he really is, right? Because lately I've been hearing a lot of dudes talking about they need Sunday to go to church now. Shit, man, y'all got a long way to go if y'all thinking that's going to be your saving grace, unless the Lord, unless the Lord do open y'all up, unless the Lord do really bestow the truth on y'all. Maybe that might be the stepping stone into finding Yahweh Shem Yahshua. But god damn, man, this is Slakia. But damn, man, we in the end time. You need to be knowing what the MOTB is, and them damn churches ain't gonna tell you what Revelation 13:16 really is. Them damn Hardly houses ain't gonna tell you about World War III, about Jacob's trouble, about the mindset you're supposed to have within the times that we coming into. Calling on the proper names of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, and a lot of y'all women, y'all gonna go for guys like that. So be it. Where was I about to go? Yeah. 1 Corinthians. You already knew it, didn't you? 1 Corinthians 11. Verse 3. But I will have you know that the head of every man is Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, and the head of every woman is the man, and the head of the HaMashiach Yahweh Shah is Yahweh. Okay? That's the order of it. Period, point blank. That's the order of it. The head of the household is the man. And that's what she broke down. No man should nobody else's opinions, nobody else's thought, wherever anybody else is going through, it should not stand in the way of the order that Yahweh Shem Yahshua has established. Other than that, you saying that you're not fully persuaded of the words of the Lord. You're not fully persuaded in the order of the Lord. And it's gonna show. It's gonna show. Because your actions come with consequences. Everybody's actions come with consequences. And that's what a lot of people don't get or understand. I'm going to play the clip one more time, though. That's all I want to get, pretty much. Let me see. Is there anything else I want to get? Just thinking off the top of my mind. Oh, yeah, I did want to go back. and get that other, what's that in Mark? Yeah. It's pretty much the same thing. Mark chapter 10, verse 7. Verse 6. But from the beginning of creation, the Most High made them male and female. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and cleave to his wife, and they twine shall be one flesh, and so then they are no more twine, but one flesh. What therefore God hath joined together, let no man put asunder. All right. And it says, let me see. I think I can use this. Ecclesiastes chapter 19, verse 5. Whoso taketh pleasure in wickedness shall be condemned. But he that resisteth pleasures crowneth his life. He that can rule his tongue shall live without strife, and he that hateth babbling shall have less evil. Oh, this is beautiful. Ecclesiastes of Sirach 19. I don't think I ever read this. All right, and that actually goes into, you know, going back and forth, bickering with other people, with your with your wife, with her kids, with anybody. You ain't got time to be worrying about going back and forth with these people. The tongue is a world of fire. All right, you gotta learn how to bridle your mouth, bridle your tongue, keep your tongue. You don't gotta say nothing to nobody. Let them figure it out. Let them fuck around and find out. Let them fuck around and find out. Rehearse not unto another that which is told unto thee, and thou shalt fear never the worst. Whether it be to friend or foe, talk not of other men's lives, and if thou canst without offense, reveal them not. For he heard and observed thee, and when time cometh, he will hate thee. If thou hast heard a word, let it die with thee, and be bold. It will not burst thee. A fool travaileth with a word, and a woman in labor of a child, as a woman in labor of a child. Ooh, damn, that's cold, man. Yeah, learn how to, man. You ain't gotta say nothing to half of this shit, man. Just let it be. The Lord word speak for itself. Matter of fact, one thing I find genuinely appealing is that when you use the words of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, a lot of people can't combat against it. When you use the mannerisms of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, you gotta let the Lord fight for you. For real, the sword of the Lord, the word of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, that's the perfect weapon. Legally, right? Morally, emotionally. You know, the words of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, you ain't gotta say two words. If you don't know, if you're not speaking as the oracle of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, just shut the fuck up, be quiet, let them have it. Let them have it. Don't go back and forth. Don't argue with nobody. Don't stir up no row. All right? Be angry, but sin not. Understand your part as a man. Our focus is to serve Yahweh Shah. That's our focus. Serve Yahweh Shah. Follow, stay in order. Seek ye the kingdom first, and all these things shall come unto you. Yahweh Shah is the kingdom. He's the head of the kingdom. After Yahweh, after, our Heavenly Father. You know, he's the way back to our Heavenly Father. And keep that in mind. Everything else, man, I'm telling you, man, for the couple of weeks, man, these women, bro, they coming. They coming. But if the Lord make these bitches back up off of you, which is something I'm noticing, if he make these bitches back up off of you, it's because you got to seek the kingdom first. because we ain't there yet. This ain't heaven for us. This is still our judgment. Keep that in mind. I'm gonna play this one more time because I just like the sentiment of it. And with that, I'm gonna close out. But I'm gonna give all praise, glory, and honor again to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Ruach HaKadosh. Double honor to elders and apostles, great millstone. Till next time, Kwame Surala, Wa Abba Babar.
If your ship was sinking and you had to save either your kids or your man, you can only choose one. Who would you choose?
My husband.
You said your husband.
There you go.
10,000%. Let me tell you, this is what's crazy to me, and I'm probably gonna eat all. I don't say what y'all want. I don't care. Biblically speaking, order of the household: God, my spouse, my kids, everybody else. How do I save something that comes from me and not the thing that is of me? If two become one and we are one, how do I go and save the multiplied? This is the original unit. And yes, of course, it sounds insensitive to say I can have more kids. And I'm also speaking from logic and not experience. But this is what I know. Most people don't like their spouse. Most people are married, they're not husband and wife. So if you are just married to a person that you really don't like, and low-key you'd be high-key relieved that your husband or your wife is dead, and then you'd be able to raise your kids, I understand why you would choose your kids.
Sure.
But if this is your once-in-a-lifetime, platinum needle in a haystack, lover, soulmate, best friend, ace boon coon, and this is the one time that you have, that you spend all this time teaching your person how to love you, and vice versa, I can't choose my children. I can't.
That's true.
There's no God, spouse, children, everybody else. And anybody that challenges it, because I get it, and people will say, you're not kids. You know what? I called my mom and I called my dad. And I gave them the same thing. And I quote, my dad said, nigga, I'm saving my wife. My mom said, that's it. Your daddy said, right. My mom said, I'm choosing your dad. My sister, who's been married 23, she's been with her guy 23 years. I'm choosing my husband. She got 2 kids, right? Her husband, I'm choosing my wife.
Yep.
My oldest brother, I'm choosing my wife. But it would really hurt me not to save my kids. They got 3 kids. Damn. Now, also, here's a question. Is that nature versus nurture? Maybe it is, because it seems like all the people that are in close proximity to me and how I grew up, they all have the same answer.